Hey guys, Jules here for WhatCulture.com with another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling right now. The show that does exactly what it says on the tin in the most annoying way possible. You are very, very welcome. Now, it's actually been a bit quiet on the wrestling oddities this week. Maybe the WWE and company are feeling the general malaise of January that seems to be hitting us all right now. But I will endeavour to find the maddest moments for you right now. But as a side note, before we begin, it is January, it is dark and cold outside, but I hope that you are treating yourself well, both physically and mentally. You deserve to treat yourself the best you possibly can, and do not let anyone tell you otherwise. You matter, you are important. I want those positive mental health images and vibes getting out of the doors quickly, and I too will move on out of the door by hitting that intro. Now, we begin with a bit of blighty ball gargling, as the NXT UK TakeOver show was so bloody good. There were a lot of us worried here in the office that it might fall foul to a lack of interest and maybe a lack of care from the WWE, but it was brilliant. The opening tag match was just outstanding with some truly nasty-looking spots. Tyler Bate performs like how he dresses, aka a magnificently beautiful wizard. Trent Seven sold expertly. Zach Gibson fought as obnoxiously as he talks, and James Drake performed some insane moves that even in this day and age managed to surprise. Then we had the surprise return of Finn Balor, which resulted in a really decent match. Mastiff and Dennis beat the piss out of each other, and while there were some lower moments, it never dropped below good wrestling. The only real noticeable issues were in the main event with the big two botches, but even this proved something to the world that needs to be acknowledged. Pete Dunne will bring anyone to his level, no matter who they are. This was an insane accomplishment for the WWE, and I am so happy to see British wrestling rub shoulders with other NXT pay-per-views in terms of quality. Hell, even Vince noticed. Well, kinda. Well, he tweeted about it afterwards when the crowd was chanting, "Are you watching Vince McMahon?" He said, "Yes, I did. Yes, it was awesome." And by that, I mean that his PR dude who manages his account tweeted for him. But what is brilliant about this tweet is that it somehow managed to capture the belittling mentality for NXT as nothing more than a proving ground for his show. Now read it like this: "Yes, I did. Yes, it was awesome." That's probably closer to how he meant it. I'm just kidding, Vince, you leathery sofa. Otis Dozovich, as WhatCulture's Andy Murray discovered, appears to be Tucker Knight's pet. He's a gibbering, endearing animal that makes inexplicably amusingly nonsense sounds, and he has a cult personality amongst NXT fans who just gravitate towards his anthropomorphic thing that he is, and he just appears to have watched Randy Savage from outside of his house and just decided to become the first ever interspecies WWE superstar. And this dog had quite the bone on Monday. A bone for Alexa Bliss. Seemingly lost without his leash, he interrupted Alexa Bliss's Moment of Bliss segment with Paul Heyman, and he juddered around making odd noises like "Taki, taki, taki, taki," and he moved his hand up and down like Randy Savage, and he shouted "Oh yeah" like Randy Savage, and he wouldn't allow a woman a proper spotlight, kind of like Randy Savage. But then he randomly blurted out pretty lady," before his keeper removed him from the scene. Now, while we at home popped large for this, the audience had no idea what to make of it, nor did Heyman or Bliss, who at the end of the segment just stood and looked at each other without saying anything until the cameras faded down, their robot brains overloaded by this organic matter and his ramblings. The worst thing about this is that it completely just was done at the wrong moment. They had just announced the women's tag titles, and here we had Heavy Machinery making sure that we moved swiftly on from the women and to focus on the weirdos. Thankfully, he didn't shag her leg. But in bad news, this is going to happen again next week. Am I right? Matt Taven, Ring of Honor darling and member of the Kingdom, has been taking quite a few shots at the poor old Revival this week, which led to some rather humorous stories being unearthed. So, according to Taven, the Revival's current storyline placement, that of being put down like a dog by the WWE and treated with about as much respect as I give thought about meat because I am such a soy boy, was too similar to that of his own angle. After making waves online, Scott Dawson responded along the lines of, "Are you kidding? Why would we choose to be made to look like tits?" alongside a little story that painted Taven himself to be a bit of a thief. Now, according to Dawson, in 2012 at a tryout, Taven apparently stole tanning lotion, leading to everybody getting a right old bollocking. After being named and shamed, Taven fired back by stealing the shatter machine on a Ring of Honor show. It's all very play school and was made even worse when the cameras didn't even capture the moment properly at the Ring of Honor show, which made it look like they were trying to steal another WWE gimmick, the terrible directing of Kevin Dunn. Zing! Now, the Revival apparently requested their release this Monday, but they were still doing it while wearing their ring gear. They ain't going anywhere, both within the WWE and outside of it, not with AEW waiting in the wings to snatch up quality talent. Vinnie Mac ain't gonna play that! Vinnie Mac ain't gonna play that! And speaking of Vinnie Mac, just imagine this scene right now. I'm Vinnie Mac on this side and Kevin Dunn on the other. What's unique to women that we can use to market and promote them more effectively? Tits? Excellent choice, my friend. I don't know what that was. Right, anyway, WWE did get a bit risque this week because, faced with tumbling ratings, the company reverted to what worked so successfully for them in the past. And no, it wasn't them allowing their talent to cut their own promos and sell themselves to the audience, but scantily dressed women. This despite 4 years of telling us that women's wrestling is progressive now. Good job. Alexa Bliss on Raw was filmed in a state of undress for no reason whatsoever other than just to arouse the menfolk of the WWE Universe. Then on SmackDown, Mandy Rose concocted a secret scheme on bloody camera to frame Jimmy Uso as an adulterer. Right, so she wore black lingerie in a hotel room, or the most risque black bra and pants that you can buy from bloody Tesco, and then she tried, but she failed. It's almost as if revealing your plan on TV wasn't a smart idea, Mandy, you tool, and it led to a brawl that went on for so long that I was able to feel my brain slipping out from my ears. However, there was another factor in it that was so silly that I cannot not include it. In order to frame Jimmy, she hired a paparazzo to hide in the bathroom, all the while goddamn ignoring that the entire thing was being filmed by WWE cameras. Could have saved herself a bit of money, as WWE's YouTube sure were quick to put up the video with her and her keks. So for Mandy, hamming it up while making a mare with her mammaries, are you having a giraffe?
That is a nice fire extinguisher.
Phil, it's snowing outside. Quick, we have to build a snowman. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Don't think it works like that. Shut up. Let's go.
No. Let's get hit. Car!
Come on.
Like, I'm really regretting this now because it's actually freezing.
I'm done. I'm gonna name him George.
Here's his head.
George!
When is the WWE like an eagle?
Phil, I tell you what, if I didn't want to blind the audience, I would have my hat blown off by the magic mind powers that you have. Also, it's when the WWE acts like Hotel California and never lets anyone leave their bloody contracts.
Like the Eagles.
Like the Eagles, yeah, well done. Yeah, like the band.
Clever.
I didn't come up with it. In addition to the Revival, the rumour mill is going bat-balls mental that several other WWE performers are thinking about leaving. Mike and Maria Kanellis reportedly tried to hand in their notices a few weeks back, but were met with a resounding, "No! No, we need you to appear on 205 Live once in every 6 weeks." It's a very weird situation to be in. No, we don't want to use you, but we don't want to appear weak in the slightest, so we'll keep paying you a wage. It's becoming like the WWE is a collector of wrestling figures, never removing them from boxes, except in this case, it is devaluing the worth of the individual pieces. Yet the truly interesting case was with Dolph Ziggler, who apparently asked to be taken off of TV and given a producer role. Now, Ziggler can still go, as we've already seen last year, but the WWE made sure that he knew his place by saying no to this request as well. So what we've now got is a rather humorous image of Dolph wanting to show solidarity to the company, but even being refused to do that. You'll stay in the ring until you're dead or worthless. That seems to be the company's line at the moment. So yeah, the WWE is kind of like the Hotel California of sports entertainment conglomerates. You can enter, but you can never ever leave. And also, it's a bit overplayed and liked by weirdos. And there we go, those are the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. Thank you so much for watching. Now to close out the show, the only way I know how, by reading my favourite comments from last week's episode. And you might remember that I asked you a special question, which was to basically write us a match. It was going to be between Viscera and Kurt Angle, and you guys had to fill in the blanks. And I have some of the best ones here. The first one is from Barrett Scott, who says, "It's January 1988 in the Mid-South Coliseum. A young, fit Viscera, must be very young, must defend the honor of his sister against an upstart Kurt Angle. Forget the history you have read. Kurt's first taste of wrestling was in Memphis, not ECW. Viscera is enraged at the smaller Kurt trying to bed his sister. As the match is concluding, Angle performs a botched pre-runner of the Angle Slam, the effects not being observed until nearly 20 years later. Viscera eats away his feelings and refers to himself as Mabel. His sister's illegitimate son is brought up as a wrestler, later called Jason Jordan."
Origin stories.
That's actually kind of brilliant. I think that's amazing, that one. I've just sworn. Brilliant. That's good.
Next up, Marshall Schaefer. Says, oh, I pressed the wrong button.
Stop trying to log into my PayPal.
Honestly, this stuff just becomes my actual calendar. I forget the days and I'm just like, Tuesday, ups and downs for Raw. Wednesday, ups and downs for SmackDown. Friday, insane things. I need to get an actual life.
You don't, because that's actually helping us out quite considerably. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Very nice, but didn't actually book the match. So.
No, but the person below did, though. So
Eric Mayer.
There we go.
Kurt Angle versus Viscera in a Jason Jordan on a pole match. Jason Jordan comes back finally after injury, acting different from before, acting cold to his father Kurt. After 6 episodes with Kurt on the phone in backstage segments, Corey Graves tells him Jason Jordan has joined a cult. Big V appears in a bad reveal to be the leader of the cult, and they have an 8-minute match.
Oh, specifically an 8-minute match.
Kurt loses because Jordan's interference, just so Kurt can team with Chad Gable against Viscera and Jordan in a much better match.
Now, I love that because that's not just booking and answering our question, but that's actually setting up the angle for Angle.
Storylines. Yeah.
Mate, I enjoyed that. But yes, thank you so much for those. There were loads more, but what we're going to do is only read out a few of our favourite ones to keep it enticing, keep it sweet, keep it sexy, because we have one more for you. Next week, I want to see what you guys think of booking, and I'm going to go for, you said you wanted to go for?
Gangrel.
Gangrel, he's bloody everywhere at the moment.
We love him.
And I want to see him go up against Molly Holly.
What?
You guys fill in the blanks and we'll read out the best ones in the next
Leave
weeks.
Molly alone.
But yes, as always, I have been Jules. He has been Phil. Thank you so much for your continued work on the show. Phil, I actually get to congratulate you in person now, and to Michael Sidgwick for helping write these episodes. You guys at home, you are incredibly awesome. Never forget that. Go follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter, and
At Phil My Chambers on Twitter and Instagram.
we will speak to you next week. Take it easy and be kind to yourself. Oh, he's jigging again. Fantastic. I thought that had stopped. I thought you said it was too tiring.
I can do it.
See you next week. Don't knock over my coffee. Jesus. Oh, God, it's aggressive jigging.